Mr. Chairman, first off, I'd ask unanimous consent for the written statement of pass and the National Business Aviation Association to be entered in the record. Mr. Chairman, unanimous consent?
Yes.
Thank you very much. For Mr. Rinaldi, you're a member of the FAA's Management Advisory Council, is that correct?
I am, sir.
Yeah, sir. So on March 15th of this year, the MAC, shorthand is MAC, issued a letter calling for reforms that would not require splitting up the FAA. And you signed the letter along with other members of the MAC. So do you agree with the MAC's recommendations, or how should we read that from your end of things?
I do. And as I said in my opening statement, there are many ways to fix this problem. We don't think there's just one. Just so you do know that that letter was circulated. I did offer edits, and it was not incorporated into it. But I do support that letter that we need stable, predictable funding and flexibility in our budgets. And
they're different. And you argued there are different ways to achieve that goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Inspector, we heard in some comments today that the air traffic control system is safe, but it's broken. I fly 2,306 qualified air miles one way on United Airlines and back again for my commute. Can this system be safe and broken, or should I drive?
It is safe, of course, and that's
how can it be safe if it's broken? It seems to me that there's a fundamental argument going on here that says we have to go to privatization because the system is broken that actually controls the airspace. And if it's broken, I don't know how it can be safe, and so it would support the privatization argument. However, if it can't be safe and broken, it would seem to undermine the whole argument for privatization.
I would characterize the system currently certainly as safe, and the record shows that for a number of years now, no commercial aviation fatal accidents. As far as broken, I would take issue with that characterization. I would say certainly modernization has been lagging, far behind where it should be, but it's not broken.
Well, that's good to hear. I'll cancel my car rental. Mr. Brown, I just want to explore a separate issue with you, but it's tied because we're trying to get an authorization bill done, and I think largely there's bipartisan support on a lot of issues, including with differences around the edges, UAS incorporation into the airspace, certification reforms. It seems to me all these are being held up by this debate on the to be or not to be question with regards to privatizing the air traffic control system. Can you talk a little bit, just briefly, about why certification is important, why some of these other issues are important that we move forward on, but yet we ourselves are lagging on getting them done because we continue this debate over and over on privatization?
I am happy to do that. I would say that Congress has been incredibly supportive of the idea of facilitating improved ways to market through certification. We've had great support and friends in Congress come to our aid to try to make our United States aviation industry as strong as possible. And that's been matched with very good appropriation support as well. So the thing is we all tend to agree that there are opportunities and we tend to line up behind them. What's troubling is when they get stopped in mid-stride because they can't get into the regulatory basis. And what that means to me is that we are market leaders in all of our product categories in aviation, and when we can't go to market in the ways that these reforms allow us to do, well, then somebody else is gaining on our heels. And at the end of the day, I always care about extending competitive advantage. Of course, the other thing that's often been a problem is that if you create uncertainty, customers have no idea whether they want to invest now or later, and they err on the side of later. So for me, there is something really important about keeping the vital function of certification up and running and manifesting the reforms that we all agree to.
Well, I appreciate hearing that, and I want to be sure folks did hear that. I thought that would be the answer. It's just that this main point is that this is not, we're not working on a privatization bill, we're working on an FAA reauthorization bill, as many moving parts, many of which we agree on, Democrats and Republicans, and yet those are being held up by this one debate. And it seems to me we can move forward on the things we agree on. moving forward. So I yield back. Thank you.